The first point to realize when you're assessing the Indians' position in Canada and the kind of civilizations that they had, it would be to realize that the Indians had developed skills that were particularly adapted to the circumstances of the country. They were perfectly at home in the northern forests and knew how to get around. They didn't get lost.
The canoe, the birch bark canoe, the kayak, snowshoes, toboggans. I mean, the list is extraordinary. Agriculturally, the Aboriginal societies had developed things like potatoes and tomatoes, corn, beans, and squash, tobacco. They had a whole range of leisure time activities. They had arts, whether it was porcupine quill work, embroidery on a deer skin, wood carving, or just in costume in general.
They didn't differentiate between the spiritual world and the physical world. They're two different aspects of the same reality. And the importance of knowing that there are forces and counterforces.
When you talk about Native religion, it's just a respect for all nature, the rivers, the trees, the air that we breathe, the sun that's shining today. We can still hold the buffalo sacred to us, and he'll always be sacred to us. We wouldn't exist if it hadn't been for our ancestors surviving off of the buffalo. The stories that carried on through the many generations still exist within our people today.
In our tradition, there's this idea of the creation of North America. It's the story of this woman falling from the heavens and falling on the back of the turtle. And the water bird slowly brought her down gently onto the back of the turtle. And the water animals came up and brought pieces of earth from the ground and laid it on the turtle's back. And that is North America. It's a fascinating tale, and it's one that's been retold and retold.
Most of their tales are describing how men became human, became fully men, through the intercession of the gods. You need to have some kind of a guiding spirit from the other side who takes the form of a crow or a coyote or whatever, and he comes along and he teaches you the lesson. Regular initiation rituals, and it was through the initiation rites where they would determine their lot in life. There were certain rules that had to be followed if you were going to have a harmonious development as a people and in a community. Otherwise, you'd end up in some kind of a disastrous situation.
We had a matrilineal society in traditional times. Women are the teachers, women are administrators of the village. Men's role was beyond the palisade, beyond the village site. Their job was to cut wood, to do warfare, to hunt and fish, diplomatic relations.
In the oral tradition, the word is of primordial importance, and the necessity of keeping your word. And you have a core of elders who are presiding over the recitals just to make sure that it is repeated exactly on from generation to generation.
Huron society had 3 levels of representative democracy. This village would have been administered by a council, and in turn individuals from that council would have been appointed to the Council of the Nation, and then the Nation Council would have appointed individuals to the Confederacy Council. In looking at how people achieve political consensus, the Huron had great orators who would argue at length about specific topics. The political relationships establish group rights and responsibilities and individual rights and responsibilities.
They had to meet challenges. In solving those challenges, their cultures developed. If there is an Indian tradition that is the most Indian of all traditions, it is the necessity to adapt to the circumstances in which you are creating your communities.